Welcome back everyone to more of the patch changes. I think this is going to be the final video. We're going to go on to the final stretch. Still plenty of big cards to look through and discuss. So we've got Zoltan Animal Tamer. Strength's changed from 7 to 6. It is gold, so Alzor's Thunder won't work, but Yorveth can now remove it from the board if you want. But we did see the bird got changed from 1 to 3. So, you know, kind of in line. It's a little bit more of a buff or a nerf if you choose the Agitator. Here we go. Grimm, we've heard a lot about him. Grimm now spawns 2 Commando Neophytes each time you play a special card. So they didn't like a lot of the cards being a final turn, final round play that would just get you like 30, 40 strength. And that was what Grimm was. He was the forerunner of huge cards that you just play on the final turn and get massive amounts of strength that the opponent could do nothing about, even if they knew you had it, which most of the time they probably would. So they changed this completely, and that's kind of why we saw a change to Alien, why I think we're going to see a change to the Grave Hag and maybe the Frightener later. Okay, so now you need to play him very early in the round and then invest with special cards. Okay, so you need to place him down first, then when you start playing special cards. So the decks might be similar, it's just Grimm will be played a lot earlier now. And then, you know, your neophytes, you might be able to buff them rather. You can't destroy them. No card has the ability to destroy them and do wounding now. Really like that change because it was annoying, especially if you didn't have card advantage. Squirtle was able to get a lot of card advantage, so I do like that change. It's a lot better. Now, Grimm is 6 strength, so not many things can do 6 strength gold wounding, but Radovid can still. You've got Yorveth can still. We will be able to, in the future, in the near future, demote him and weather him and stuff like that. So look forward to doing that as well. So King Bran, a lot of people didn't like King Bran because of the guaranteed card disadvantage you get. And he has changed, but not really enough for a lot of people's needs. King Bran now gives +2 base strength to any unit he discards. So you're still going to lose that card advantage. It's just that hopefully if you discard Queen's Guards or you discard plan on create raiders, they get a +2 base strength. So it's good, but I think a lot of people are still not going to take him. But it is hard because, you know, Skellig do have 3 spies, so you might be able to get the card advantage back in some other way. But I don't think many people. I think he might be considered the worst leader for now. It seems weird considering getting any card from your deck seems quite powerful. It was definitely powerful in The Witcher 3. However, there's a lot more you can do against all types of cards now compared to The Witcher 3. Like gold cards in The Witcher 3 could be massively powerful. You couldn't do anything about them, that type of thing. So getting 1 card of anything you wanted was really powerful. But now you can wound things and stuff like that. And there's a lot of deck thinning strategies. We saw First Light earlier, which will do the job. We've got Clandemon Pirates, which also do the same job. We've got Ermion, Burnerbrand. So there's a lot of discard and a lot of going through your deck, so he's not necessarily that important anymore to get that one specific card because you can get him in a lot of other ways. So I think he will need to see a change. I wouldn't mind something like shuffling all the cards from your graveyard back into your deck. Anyone? I'd love that. That'd be great. Anyway, Dandelion's ability has changed. Dandelion's seen a huge change. It's a very odd one, so give me your thoughts on this one. Now adds +2 strength to non-gold units when they appeared on the board. Okay, his strength has changed from 1 to 4 for Savage Bear purposes. It's changed to 4 because, well, you know, 2 is not necessary. His ability is a bit weird now. It helps the opponent. The +2 strength is like Craven Revived. So he's on the board. You play cards into his row, and you know they get buffed by +2. But it works on the opponent's row as well. So both melee rows now get +2 strength when you add into it, which is really weird. I mean, I can't see why you'd want to do it in Northern Realms. The obvious reason is poor infantry. That means they're going to be 5 strength each. I don't think you'll play the poor infantry. It'll go to 5, create a duplicate of 5, and that'll go up to 7. I don't think that's the way it works. I think you place it as poor infantry as 3. It'll create another 3, and they'll both go to 5, which is really good. You know, poor infantry 2 5s, that's 10 strength. That's really good for one bronze card. But the opponent also gets stuff. Obviously, it seems like it'd be a lot better in a monster nesting deck, you know, muster deck. So you put your foglets onto the board, or you put your your neckers onto the board, and they just go to, you know, get as many units as you can, and you know, you out strength your opponent. But I don't think Northern Realms has that many ways to do it, so it's a bit odd. I'd like to see someone really utilize it. I might give it a go myself, you know, see what we can do. But definitely combines with the promotion aspect, because you want to put so many poor infantries on the board. This is an interesting one. Monster faction ability no longer targets resilience units. I like that a lot. It's one of my favorites, just for its usability. You know, its friendliness from the monster faction ability. So when it chooses a random non-gold on your side of the board, if you've adrenaline rushed something, it won't consider it. You know, so that's really good. That means you can keep multiple units on the board between rounds if you want to. Gives you a little bit of, oh, I've got 2 units, I don't know what it wants to get. I could adrenaline rush one of them, and I'll get both of them. And it just enables monsters to use that card, and I think that's just great. I do like that a lot. So Skellig is now agile, so this is fair enough. It means you could put him on rows which are more appropriate. So, you know, he's definitely going to be good on the siege row for Skellig. This is the card that is 4 strength, takes 3 strength wounding when he gets played. 3 strength wounds the opponent's highest strength, and when he gets removed, he turns into Craven Revived, which is kind of like Dandelion. He gets +2 to everything on your row only, though, so he's better than Dandelion in my opinion. You don't buff the opponent, but you know, he's only on the melee row initially right now in the current build, but now he's agile, so he's definitely going to be good with the Priestesses of Freya and, you know, Sig Freya and the armor smiths or shield smiths, light longships. I think you could really build a deck around this guy quite well. Now you can stick him onto the siege row. Okay, we've got a big change here. Promotion changes. Converting units to gold no longer sets the current strength as the new base strength. So if you buff something, promote it, it is still all green strength. You know, you buff the current strength. So if you use something like Dimeridian Bomb, or it goes to the graveyard, it will lose it all. It'll stick to back its original strength. So a big change there. That'll stop the Northern Realm cheese decks. Second change, also the unit will revert from gold to its original colour when destroyed or at the end of the current round. Okay, so if you adrenaline rush something, when it goes on to the next round, if you adrenaline rush and promote it, the next round it'll go back to its original bronze or silver value. So it's a big deal. That will also stop the Northern Realms cheese. Okay, upon entering the graveyard, both gold status and buffs are removed. So if you like buff or geared or roach and promote him, when he goes to the graveyard, it'll lose its buff, so it'll go back to roach, for example, 3 strength, and it'll lose its gold value. So it's not like an impenetrable fortress. So promotion got a massive nerf there for good reasons. I think they did as much as they can to stop the huge, massive spike in strength, adrenaline rush, and promote, which needed to be changed. Now you've got to ask yourself the question: what is promotion good for now? Okay, and it is good for still some things. Okay, so you do protect against Scorch, you do protect against Weather. Now, if you're buffing it too much, I think it kind of deters the fact that you want to buff one thing so much that it allows them to do Scorches on it before you promote it. You want to play more of a promotion for synergy reasons. There are still synergies. So Margarita is a huge synergy that works really well. You've got the Reinforced Siege Tower, works really well. There's a lot of cool synergies. It's not all about buffing up to high strengths. I think when people realise that's not how they intended it to be played, it won't seem so bad. And it still is useful to stop weather, which you know is coming and stuff like that, if you can help it. Or it makes the opponent play his weathers a bit earlier if he thinks it's coming. Stuff like that. And if you've got first light, then you can counter it. So promotion definitely needed to see those changes, and I'm happy they've done it. Hopefully we'll still see people playing promotion style decks. Maybe even I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it. I don't know. Spawned copies of units or units spawned by other units are now always placed on the same row as the base unit. Right, okay, I have no idea. Does that mean like the neophytes are always going to stay on the same row? I don't think that's true. I think in the stream that wasn't the case. They went to a random row. But I think I don't know. Maybe it's somewhat specific, but I don't know. It sounds like a bug fix. I'm not sure. Philippa strength changed from 12 to 10. So a little bit of a buff, but I saw her play today, which is amazing. But I'm not sure how. I'm still not sure how good it is. Don't forget, we can demote things in the future. So if the opponent is playing a monster weather deck and he's got a lot of like Wild Hunt Riders, Wild Hunt Warriors, Ice Giant, Eredin, all these things which are immune to frost, Philippa will still work because you can place Philippa, set them all to 1, and then maybe you can Dimer Team Shackles or demote it in some way. Okay, and she will get set to 1 as well. So you can counter Priscilla really well now by demoting it if she's in weather. So a bit of play there. And there are differences between Aeromancy and Philippa. Aeromancy can hurt yourself. Aeromancy doesn't affect things which are weather immune. So, you know. I don't think many people will change it, use it to be honest, but it's getting there. I think other changes to weather and demoting and stuff have helped Philippa a little bit. And she's always a surprise now. No one expects the Spanish Philippa Inquisition, but she's definitely a surprise when you see her. Weather change. If a unit is moved out of weather, its strength changes according to clear weather rules. Okay, so that'd be really good for things like Roach going into weather and then going out of weather. That is exactly how we expected it to work. Perfect change. Well done, CD Projekt Red. Copies spawned on a row affected by weather now have their strength reduced. Right, I was not aware that was an issue. Sounds weird. Okay. Dwarven Mercenaries, strength changed from 2 to 3. This is just a minor strength increase. Not entirely sure why it's there, but yeah, it's just going to happen a little bit, isn't it? Change rarity of Wolves, Eredin, and Wild Hunt minions to Epic. Okay, whatever. The Redenian Elite's buff removed due to technical issues. Strength changed from 4 to 6. So the Redenian Elites were 4 strength, and when you reinforcement one of them, the other 2 would come out and they would convert to gold. And what the Redenian Elites used to do is it says they're 4 strength. When all 3 of them are on the board, they get +2 strength and then convert to gold, which means they get another +2 strength due to the deck ability. So they should have all leveled out at 8. But when you reinforcement them, the other 2 come on and it adds the +2 strength on twice in a weird glitch. So they ended up getting to 10. So they've removed that now, and they're now just a base strength of 6. Okay? And when all 3 of them are on the board, they convert to gold and they go to 8. So they don't get the +2 anymore. So they should level all out at 8 now. Now this is a big deal, okay? Strength change from 4 to 6. It means Alzor's Thunder is pretty much the only thing that's going to help. Okay, you could weather them, but that's not really going to remove them. You want to remove these things. Okay, but if you do weather them, it's not so bad now. I mean, it's not so bad for you. If you weathered the previous ones, they would get +2 strength and +2 strength and +2 strength. So there'd still be like 7 strength, which is crazy. But now, if you do weather these, they've got further to fall now. So there will only be 3 strength each, which is great. So I was actually worried that Alzor's Thunder is the only way to remove them, but weather is actually also going to be more effective against them. Because in the current build, if you weather them, they're 7 strength still with the little glitch. Because they get +2 for the glitch, and +2 for the deck ability, which is crazy. So, you know, a couple of gold cards, Radovid can destroy 1. Might be useful, probably not. But, yeah, Alzor's Thunder is going to see a lot more play due to getting rid of one of these so they can't bring it back is quite important, really, I think. Added new Relentless Category. So we talked about the Feleeting category with Decoy, Commander's Horn, Nature's Gift. You play that card and it gets removed from the game. So Relentless Category means this unit's category cannot be moved from the board or to the player's hand. Okay, so you can't place this card down with the Relentless Category and then pick it back up. So things like the Operator and Johnny have Relentless, and it means you can't decoy it back up, you can't Milva it, you can't Anya, the Scoia'tael leader card it, back into your hand in any way. So they did this to try and balance out things like the Operator. They didn't want to change it, they were happy where it is, but they don't want you to reuse them so much. So they've got the Relentless Category. Okay, so we've got Feleeting, removes it from the game. Relentless, can't pick it back up. Now you can still medic out Relentless cards, so you could use something like Sigurdrifer or Restoration to bring out the Relentless card that's silver and replay him. But no masses amounts of reusing. this change with Relentless Category, specifically on Milva, she doesn't have Relentless herself, but she can no longer pick a card up that's Relentless. She can't return it to your hand. So if there's a card with Relentless, which is the highest strength, it'll skip over it to the next highest strength because she can't pick up a Relentless card anymore. This opens up quite a lot of strategy. A bit of confusion at the beginning, sure, but a lot of strategy as well. So one of the issues with Milva was that if you had dwarves on the board and you buff them up with swallow potions because they're resilient and they're great, you wanted to use Milva to return the strongest unit to the opponent's side and possibly act as a scorch or something, or remove buffs. But you'd remove the buffs from your own Mahakam defender, for example, which would be really horrible. But one thing you can do now is if you have something like the Operator or Johnny on the board, which is Relentless and can't come back to your hand, you could put your swallow potions onto that card, so you could buff that one up to maybe 25, 30. So it is clearly the highest strength on the board. But when you play Milva, it will skip over that card. So in that way, you can buff up a particular card that you know is Relentless and can't come back to your hand. And the opponent doesn't know you've got Milva, so he'll be buffing up something which can go back to his hand. And so when you play Milva, the opponent's strength will get reduced. You know, you'll get the card back and its strength will disappear. And you will keep your strength because you'll get a card which is not as buffed, or not buffed at all because it'll skip over them. Really nice strategy there. Now, don't forget, Relentless Category, Fleeting Category, Permadeath, which we'll get onto soon. These are all work in progress. They're going to introduce a keyword system that will clear this sort of stuff up and hopefully be a lot more user-friendly, because it can start to get a bit confusing. So to follow on from this, the Operator and Regis are now Relentless. The Operator is now banished when destroyed. So the Operator has the Relentless category, but it also has the Fleeting category. So when he's removed from the board, like when he goes to the graveyard, he's destroyed from the game. So you can't actually medic up the Operator. You can medic up some Relentless cards if they don't get removed from the game via Fleeting. Johnny is now Relentless and is also Fleeting, removed from the game when destroyed. Johnny now never returns the exact same card. A nice buff there. We never want it to do that, so amazing. The amount of times I've Johnny'd something like Kieran and then got Kieran again. It's like, please don't. Ancient Foglet now correctly dies before getting buffed when at 0 strength. So that was a bug, mainly with Hemdell, I think. So great. Caretaker Medic category removed. So the Caretaker is no longer a medic. But that is because the medic category has been removed for everybody. But that's been replaced with Permadeath. We'll get onto that soon. But I think this means that the medic can be resurrected if it's demoted. Which is a big deal. Because that opens up a bit of strategy there, I think. Okay. Decoy and Nature's Gift are now banished after being played. They have the Fleeting category that I mentioned. Okay. You play them and they disappear from the game. Earth Elemental now spawns 3 small elementals upon being removed. So Earth Elemental, I believe, is 6 strength. And it will spawn 3 small elementals now. Great for Monster Nest decks. We're going to see that being evolved soon. Okay. They're actively trying to increase the effectiveness of Monster Nest decks, breeding decks. Okay, so this is just going to help with that. Margarita and Vess are now properly counted towards units promoted. Okay. I've never really played Northern Realms, so I can't comment on that one, but hopefully it's just a fix. Hopefully it's a fix that makes them worse because they're really strong at the minute, but I doubt it. Milva can no longer target herself when silver. Oh, wow, I've never experienced that. Some people are doing some nice combos here. Sabrina now only triggers upon entering the graveyard, so you can decoy her up now and play her on the opponent's side of the board, which is a great tactic. I like the accessibility there. Really, really nice. Maybe what would happen if you decoyed her up and then discarded her? If she entered the graveyard, would she, I don't know, what would she do? Wonder if she'd do it in your hand. That's something I want to check. I like finding weird stuff. No, what? Another Savage Bear prob? Why would you have another Savage Bear change? Savage Bear now properly destroys cards before they trigger their abilities. Never experienced that. But, okay, good. A Savage Bear buff. Finally. You know, now just give him his 6 strength back. Spectral Whale, now immune to all weather. This is great. Blue Boy Lugos was crap. Okay, I absolutely outright said it. But now it's actually good. The whale is no longer just absolutely destroyed when it goes into weather, which is perfect. It means it's definitely going to get 4 ticks. So excellent. Hopefully he's not as crap now. Hopefully that's good. Dun Banner Heavy Cavalry strength changed from 4 to 5, and their promotion will trigger before Bork's Scorch. Oh, that's good to know. We also know that the Dun Banner Heavy Cavalry, its promotion will disappear when it goes into the graveyard, much like the promotion up here. All the promotion changes, okay, where it loses the current strength when it goes into the graveyard, it stays at buffed strength, it doesn't set to original strength. These all apply to the Dun Banner Heavy Cavalry and the Redenian Elites, okay? So when they buff, if you buff them and then they turn to gold, it's still green strength, so you can Dimeritium bomb them down now. So not as good as they used to be, but that's really good to know. I like that priority there. Priorities of numerous abilities were changed to make them feel correct. Excellent. Medic category is now known as Permadeath. Permadeath units can no longer be resurrected. So these are the 3 major categories that are introduced. Fleeting, where a card is removed from the game after it's destroyed. Okay, or sent to the graveyard, should I say. So special cards get removed instantly, and things like the Operator or Johnny, they'll get removed when they remove from the board. Okay, you've got Relentless, means they can't be decoyed back up. You can't pick them back up anyway. And then you've got Permadeath, which means they cannot be resurrected by most conventional ways. So medic chains are generally not possible anymore. Northern Realms has been hit the hardest. None of their medics can resurrect Permadeath cards. Okay, all medics now have Permadeath written onto their category. Apart from maybe the Caretaker, because apparently his medic category got removed. Now there's 2 exceptions to this. Sigadrifa and Restoration for Skellig. Now CD Projekt Red are keeping an eye on these cards, but they're the only 2 cards that can resurrect Permadeath. And the way we know this is because we were told, but also it's in an omission in their description, which is a bad way to do it. They should definitely change the text there. But it's the omission that tells us that they can resurrect Permadeath cards. So for example, Shani would say, resurrect any non-gold, non-Permadeath card. Okay, so when it says non-Permadeath, it means it can't be a medic. It has to choose something which not got Permadeath on it. So all the medics have Permadeath, therefore it can no longer resurrect Permadeath. Whereas Sigadrifa and Restoration say resurrect any non-gold unit. The omission of non-Permadeath means they can resurrect Permadeath cards. So they can, basically in simple terms, no medics can resurrect any other medics apart from possibly the Caretaker, Sigadrifa, and Restoration. We're not sure about the Caretaker yet, we'll have to see. Neneke, Shani, Lubakin, now in Permadeath category. Siege Towers will no longer buff themselves at 0 strength in certain situations. Restoration now adds +2 base strength of a unit in the graveyard before the unit is resurrected. Good, I think there was a bit of... I did see an issue with that actually. Reanimated Craven has a higher ability priority. Excellent. Means I think it gets +2 strength before it's wounded in any way, which is great. Hopefully things will survive Savage Bear if you've got that out. Added a 2-turn timer to Madman Lugoff. This is another kind of Grimm change. Kind of what I think is gonna like happen to the Grave Hag and the Frightener and things like that, because they're similar. So Madman Lugoff is a card which could easily get to like maybe 25 strength if you've got a good discard deck going. In the final round, in the final turn, the opponent can do nothing about it. Okay, so what they've done is add a 2-turn timer. So it works exactly the same. You can get just as much strength from it. It just means that you have to play it 2 turns earlier, so the opponent has a chance to do something about it. So it stays at 4 strength for quite a while. So it is vulnerable for 2 turns, which is good. It means the opponent can do something about it. If they fail, you can play more units, put them into the graveyard, and then suddenly he will go up to 25 strength. Again, he can still be Dimeritium shackled later, which I'll show you a card in another video of that, or Dimeritium bombed or stuff like that. The War Longship now recognises Morkvarg being discarded properly. Great. Clandimun Pirate Captain now recognises Clan Crate Raider being discarded properly. Great. The War Longship now recognises the Clan Crate Raider being discarded properly. Great. Added 2 strength turn timer to the Gave Hag. The Gave Hag. So again, that's just like Lugos. It means that you can do something about it. It means that the Grave Hag's going to be 1 strength. for like 2 turns. That's crazy. I think they need to change that. That is way too weak. But it might be true that Wild Hunt Warriors have been used by that point. You know, most of the time they use them in round 1. But it means it's going to be very vulnerable for 2 turns. That is going to be difficult to play now, I think. Grave Hag strength changed from 1 to 2. Well, shut my mouth. 2 is still quite low. Only Wild Hunt Warriors won't be able to affect them. Stammel Fords, Lacerate, Manticore Venom, Owl's Thunder seems like a bit of a waste, to be honest. But I think every other unit apart from Wild Hunt Warrior can do 2 strengths. So very, very vulnerable still. I stand by it. Stand by my quote. Elven War Dancer strength changed from 2 to 4. A little bit stronger than the average, but they're not seeing too much play. They are the ones that get buffed when ambush cards are played. And Tordorok Shieldsmith strength changed from 4 to 5. Great. So we're not going to see an original strength increase, you know, with their buff increase, but at least their strength has increased, so they're 5. And over the 3 rounds, they're 5, 6, 7. That's really good. They're actually really effective now. It means in the final round 3, they're worth 9. You know, it's pretty good. I like it. It's definitely a reasonable card now. I think people are still playing them. This is going to incentivize playing just a little bit more. We've got some extra game fixes as well. Just go through them quickly. Fixed a UI issue whereby the game will fall out of sync when the Scoia'tael faction ability timed out between rounds. Added UI scaling issue. No, not the issue, the option. Fixed the issue whereby Fireball Trap would spawn 1 Commando Neophyte instead of 2. Okay. Fixed an issue whereby Hide Cards button caused one of the cards to be redrawn. Oh, wow. Excellent. I think I've experienced that. It's really annoying. It's now possible to scroll through the main menu options. Can we not do that? Cancel button after playing a card with the ability icon removed from the UI. Visual effects no longer provide clues about what... Oh, that's the series and the Skellig buffs and stuff. Perfect. Visual effects no longer provide clues about cards in your opponent's hand or graveyard. Perfect. Fixed issues whereby the game would become blocked under certain circumstances while in deck builder. I've experienced that. Fixed issues whereby Commander's Horn would sometimes not play any effects. Wow, what? Fixed issues whereby Elias would not be buffed if a Commander Neophyte died right after spawning. Should he, though? You know, I don't know, man. If he gets interrupted, if he dies trying to come onto the battlefield, he shouldn't... Fix some issues with Shani's priority. Yes! This is what I mentioned with Shani a while ago. Shani's strength was reduced. Not that good. She's kind of becoming quite crap. But this gives her excellent use. You can combo this with Pavetta for the double epidemic now. Because Pavetta was 4 strength. She would generally score epidemic herself, which was crap. But now you can use Shani and Pavetta, and suddenly you're in business. Nice. Faced an issue with Tursek Axeman ability priority while affected by weather. Okay. Fixed issue with various medic priorities related to weather. Fixed issue whereby War Longship would still deal damage even when its strength has reached 0. Great. And then we've got some extra polishes, but don't think anything worth looking at here. Improved scrolling mechanics. So I know it was a bit janky, so hopefully... I think that was unintended. They didn't mean for that, so... A lot of changes there. Now, there are some extra things. I think I'm either going to do them in a video first or I'll do them in a video later. We've got cards revealed to us. I definitely want to go over how I feel those cards are going to work. Things like Geralt Ard. We had things like Coral. You know, quite a few cards. Dimeritium Shackle, for example. So I will do a separate video discussing those particular cards. And thank you for watching. I mean it. I mean it. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you again very soon.